This. Oh,
What's up, Jason?
This is great content. This is great content.
How is it going?
Oh, raising newborns is difficult work.
Yep. And apparently so is friendships, because our friend didn't make this podcast today.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Work Guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Work Guy, yeah. So everybody knows, the Human Dart couldn't make it this evening for this boys recap and podcast because somehow he thinks his job, which pays a couple of his bills, will be more important than this podcast.
Yeah, well, when we're famous, we're gonna work that into the contract, Jason. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
he's gonna pay for this moment.
That's right.
Yeah, so one way or the other. No, in all seriousness, Human Dart couldn't make it. Josh's, real life job came calling, so he will not be making this particular podcast. But we plan on recording another podcast tonight as well, and we're hoping he'll make that one. That is the current plan. So
he should be on the Game of Thrones season 2.
Yeah. Assuming that happens, that is what we plan to do with him tonight.
And as long as he doesn't drag his feet, you know how he is.
Yeah. Look, they had 365 days to buy their gift that they were planning on buying today.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that's an inside joke. We'll leave you to that. Look, it's just Jason and I, so we're not going to screw around.
That's right. It's probably going to be extremely boring
and super fast and hyper nerdy. So I don't think we waste any time, Jason. Let's just get right in.
Let's do it.
All right. Look, it's your boy David Disaster about to do this intro. It's been a long time since I've done an intro.
It's been a long time. You know what you're doing?
I don't know. Here's the problem. I remember back when we first started this pod and it was just you and I, we could not get these intros off without cracking up laughing. I don't know what it is. Josh is just a professional. I'm not.
Yes, he is a professional.
All right, so get ready for some dead air. Are you ready for dead air? Because I am. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents The Boys Season 3, exclusively streaming on Amazon. I am your co-host, David Disaster, along with
Jason Tsunami.
Yeah, and no one else. Look, I'm a professional, all right? I got that in one shot.
Duet tonight.
That's right, duet. So for the non-YouTube crowd, just to reiterate, Human Dart, a.k.a. Josh, could not make the pod this evening. We miss him so much, but the real world called, and he needed to close tonight at work. So
and the podcast is better off for it.
Probably not, but it's definitely going to be probably quicker, unintentionally. So
30% faster.
Yeah, at least 30% faster. Look, Josh is the tank. So, without our tank, we're just DPS at this point, and we're going to die.
Yeah, we're just spraying bullets everywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, so look, tonight, it's just Jason and I. So, I will say up front, I apologize if this is a bit of a mess, because Josh is usually the guy kind of running the show from a category standpoint. He kind of keeps us in line, so to speak. So we're kind of just flying off the seat of our pants here, but we're going to try to do it up, do Josh some justice. God, that was so hard to say. And we're here to talk about The Boys Season 3. So, right. Jason.
Just remember, if this pod sucks,
it's Josh's fault. Oh, 100%.
And if this is amazing, it's completely our doing.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We drug this pod to the finish line, right?
Yes.
So, hey, look, Jason, without dragging this out too far, what was your just initial thoughts here on season 3 as it closed, as a whole, right? Not this episode specifically, as a whole.
Another home run. I'm extremely satisfied. We usually, especially more so you and I, we try to figure stuff as it goes. We try and predict stuff. We try and figure out where we're going with things. We try to, predict the ending. And We were wrong. Like pretty much all season long, we barely got a whiff of a prediction correct.
Oh yeah, we were just striking out all season.
I know it was terrible, but the season as a whole, I thought was top notch.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't want to give it any patent pending shitometer score or anything like that. So I'm gonna throw out a very simple number. I'd give it an easy 9 out of 10 for me.
It's the floor would be 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5, 9.5 out of 10.
Depending on your mood and your time of day, you're asked the question.
And your tolerance for stuff that's really over the top.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great episode, great episode, yes, and great season. In the nature of a podcast and when we're reviewing a show, I think you sometimes get caught up in wanting to criticize certain things, and because you kind of feel obligated to. That's the whole reason you feel like that's the whole reason people watch these reviews, is they want to hear some critical thought, or at least attempts at it, right? But I think just when you kind of sit back and you kind of just take it in overall, I think The Boys delivers pound for pound better than any show going right now. And it's we're re-reviewing, I guess should say, Game of Thrones. The first, the whole seasons, all the seasons of Game of Thrones, and watching Game of Thrones side by side with this. I mean, this surprisingly holds up, pretty well to the Game of Thrones in terms of overall quality and things like that. So
and enjoyment.
Yeah. So
it's a different level of enjoyment because it's telling a story a different way.
Sure.
But I mean, they're both very, very good.
I will say this. This is the best suit. I was thinking about this earlier, Jason, because I just saw Thor: Love and Thunder. I think The Boys, cumulatively across all 3 seasons, is some of the best superhero content that I've ever consumed across movies, TV shows, comics, everything. I mean, outside of maybe like some of the last movies in Phase 3 of Marvel, like Infinity War and Endgame and a couple of the Spider-Man movies for me. Like outside of those, this is like better than any other thing Marvel is doing.
I'll say this to kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I think the allure of a show like The Boys is that for the most part, superheroes are they're heroes. Like, yes. I mean, it's very PG. Superman doesn't rip people's arms off. Batman doesn't actually flay bodies, stuff like that. And so when you watch a show like The Boys, it reminds me of like watching the movie, is it The Watchmen or Watchmen?
Watchmen. Well, great movie, by the way.
Yeah, where you're kind of getting this like taboo side of superhero storytelling. Like you're getting into the nitty gritty, the dirty part of it.
Yeah.
I love it. Great stuff.
Really good stuff. So I guess, Jason, this part I do know the order of things. Why don't you give us that juicy recap for episode 8?
I'll try to do my best.
All right.
Season finale did not disappoint. And man, like I was saying earlier, we were wrong with just about every prediction we had, and I just don't even care. We have a father-son reunion twice. Once when Homelander finds his son Ryan, and later when we get to the climax. Maeve escapes and is, on the board of play. Black Noir comes back to Homelander with a simple message. We must kill Soldier Boy. In fact, I think I said it better. Butcher, Maeve, and Soldier Boy do a team up to kill Homelander. But before we get there, Homelander gets the truth from Black Noir on if he knew he had a father out there. And in a real gut punch, Homelander expresses his displeasure with Noir. Now, fuck all this. Let's get to the finish. Soldier Boy and Homelander have a rare, short-lived moment. Father, son, and grandson, a trilogy, if you will. Soldier Boy and Homelander have this connection. He reaches out and he touches his shoulder, and Soldier Boy apologizes for not being there for Homelander, and that is why it feels like he turned into this weak pussy, and it's fucking on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when Ryan gets injured, Butcher and Starlight take on Soldier Boy, while Maeve takes her shot at Homelander. Long anticipated. The episode, Herogasms, if you will, comes as Soldier Boy is about to detonate everyone, with Maeve tackling him out the window, presumably killing her and taking down Soldier Boy. Homelander and Ryan leave the scene, and Butcher is hospitalized after he collapses, one too many doses of the Temp V. In the closing, our now powerless Maeve, who did survive, leaves town with her girlfriend, presumably to the countryside. And Ashley finally shows she's not a complete bitch by destroying the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, overall, I won't retread stuff if I don't have to. Overall, great episode. This was maybe the first time where I actually have one genuine complaint, but we'll get to that. I want to stay positive here in the beginnings. Overall, I'm very satisfying season finale. I'm sad that the season is already over. It feels like it just started.
It does.
And
that's what good television is, Dave.
Yes. It's been going now for 5 weeks, I think. 5 weeks. And
yep.
It's just been quick. So, Jason, oh yeah. So I don't know the categories off the top of my head because I rely on Josh too much.
Dave.
Favorite scenes. So, I mean, God, there's so many to choose from. I'm gonna
go with a non-hanging fruit.
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little bit outside the box.
Let's hear it.
It's going to be when A-Train talks to his brother.
That's a solid scene, and actually, I don't want to say it's a hard scene to watch, but kind of is, man. It's rough. He's really trying to have a heart-to-heart moment with his brother, and his brother wants nothing to do with him.
I know.
It's really tough.
It is. It's because, and the thing is that A-Train can't help himself. He can't do. Look, we all cheer the fact that he went and killed Blue Hawk.
Yeah.
But in reality, that's not what his brother wanted.
No.
And when you hear his brother speak, you get it. You get the gist of it.
Absolutely.
And he's just utterly disappointed with A-Train because A-Train is spouting off, hey, man, I'm going to get the commercials back, the endorsements. You can be my coach again. And it's like, dude, we went so far past that. His brother is just like, you just don't get it. His brother is just crushed.
His brother is done with all of that.
But
it's like that life. I don't think his brother, based on that conversation, I don't think his brother ever enjoyed those aspects of the life. I think his brother really just wanted to try to pivot all of that into positivity, right?
Yeah, I think there might have been a time when his brother was,
more drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, drinking the Kool-Aid, but I think his eyes were opened. Or I would say in season 1. When A-Train starts to get on the juice.
It's like his brother is way out there in terms of development and in terms of understanding how the situation, right? And sort of being aware. And it's A-Train still all of these bad things have happened, and it's A-Train still is living inside of a fantasy. And I genuinely think after that exchange, I guess small prediction for season 4. I think after that exchange, I think A-Train is going to have to come to terms with he's got to really look at himself in the mirror and really understand that.
See, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to disagree with you. Not that we're in predictions or anything, but it's a fork in the road for A-Train. Either he takes, like the way you're saying it, and he needs to reevaluate his choices, think about his life choices, what he actually wants to do in life, or you can just say, man, you know what, fuck it. I've tried to be the good guy. I tried to make amends for some of the things I've done wrong. Apologize to Huey. I took down Blue Hawk, et cetera, et cetera. And everybody's still, and I'm worse off now than I was before. So fuck them.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
His character development is interesting because I don't really know which way they're going to go with it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're going to address it in season 4. So
I hope so.
A favorite scene for me is, man, there's a few. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to name them all because this would be forever, right?
Yeah. Well, we can go back and forth with a couple of them.
So Ryan, just him.
The opening scene when Homelander shows up, and he's out there playing with the baseball. That scene.
No, I'm gonna go with man, it's tough. It's almost like I just want to talk about Ryan. Like I want to basically every Ryan interaction for me.
Okay.
Just it's cheating, but I'm going to say this. The Ryan character development in this episode, right? So just I'm going to go fast. Yeah, I'm going to go kind of fast so I'm not taking up too much time, but so the opening sequence where, Homelander's talking to Ryan and connects with him, right?
Yep.
And basically is like, hey,
love him no matter what.
I'm gonna love you no matter what, right? I'm your father. I understand you. I've been through this.
I got your back.
Yeah, I got your back forever. Ryan takes off with him, right? And then you have the Ryan, meeting his father, or meeting his grandfather, essentially, right?
Yep.
That whole sequence of Homelander, Homelander's all in, Homelander genuinely wants a family. And just that sequence of events, Ryan getting hurt, and then toward the end of that sequence, right, basically Ryan kind of putting a stop to the fighting, right, and saying to I really thought Ryan was gonna kind of wake up and go with Butcher, but he doesn't. Obviously, he still feels burned by Butcher and kind of betrayed and left abandoned. Yep. So he goes with Homelander, and then just wrap it up. The very ending sequence, where Homelander, that person at the end in the crowd throws something and it hits Ryan, and Homelander
laser beams that motherfucker's head
without hesitation. He's like, "Who did that?" He sees him, laser beams him, cuts his head in half. He's dead, and the crowd cheers in a surprising turn, right? The crowd cheers for it, right? Yep. And obviously it's surrounded by Homelander supporters and all of that, but the look on Ryan's face as the scene ends, Ryan
is very creepy.
Ryan goes from a kind of an unsure to, as the crowd is cheering, to a small smirk, to a smile, and dude, it's just great storytelling. And Ryan is one of those characters you and I did not have on our radar at all. Zero, nada, zilch in the predictions department. So,
yeah. Which is really stupid.
It's stupid of us not to.
It's stupid of us. Exactly. But the thing is that he's looking for Ryan, but you don't expect him to find him in the finale.
No.
Not in this regard. You expect him to find him that would be the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Or somewhere earlier in the season, not to start the finale.
Yeah, we didn't even have that as a potential of oh, what information did Newman give him? We didn't even think about that question, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's basically all my favorite scenes. I'm just gonna that's it for me.
The one other favorite scene, and I don't know if it's truly a favorite scene, but it's something we've been waiting for, and that's Maeve versus Homelander.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Their fight was very well done. Maeve held her own. you got the sense the further it went that Maeve was going to lose.
Yeah. I'll say this small
And she didn't
comment.
care.
Small comment to any people out there who are wanting like Avengers level, like high, like grand fight scenes. Like, look, at the end of the day, like if you want to watch Avengers style, like throwing people through buildings and stuff like that, go watch that.
Go watch the Superman where he fights the 3 convicts.
Or just go watch a Marvel movie. If that's what you want, that's fine. I watched this for something different. It's grittier. And look, you can make an argument that they're not, splurging in their budget. So what? They're telling great stories, and they're, like, to me, like I don't need the grand scale battles to get my satisfaction. I'm not just a popcorn muncher. I
don't need Matrix 3.
Correct. Like I don't need it. So like I get more out of this show than that. To me, the show just so happens to have superheroes, right? Like yes, that is what the show is about, but to me it's about the characters and about the story. That's first and foremost to me. Like the action and the superhero fighting, like I feel like because it's used sparingly, it's more impactful.
Makes it more impactful, absolutely.
So anyway, small diatribe, soapbox situation. So
all right, so the next category is going to be best death, and I also think we can talk about it a little bit here. Was a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I'm just basically gonna use this as a platform for my only issue with the episode.
Okay. And we both share the same issue.
Yeah.
So when you talk about it, it's my issue as well.
So first, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I think the best death is kind of the only like real death. I mean, outside of I would say the more shocking death was the one at the end where Homelander zapped that guy in the crowd. That was probably more shocking because I actually didn't expect that to happen.
Correct.
But as far as best death, it's got to be Black Noir. Unfortunately, it's by default because nobody else of note, perished in this episode, right? So,
the worst part about this is that you and me talked about Black Noir. And I said that, like, he couldn't just go find Homelander. I mean, not Homelander, but Soldier Boy, and then just die immediately.
Yeah.
Like you're building up this Black Noir character. He's had all this. He's been in every season. He's mysterious. We kind of figure out who he is.
I'm pretty sure I said it, at least. I know I said it like just in conversation with you. I may have said it on the pod. I don't remember, but I know I have mentioned before about Black Noir. Like I really like what they're doing with this character, and they're like fleshing him out and making him more important. and that didn't last too long.
They have this 15 to 20 minutes of this episode telling you his whole backstory with cartoons.
Yeah.
And then Homelander just brings him in for a hug and then basically just rips his intestines out of his body.
Yeah, and lets him bleed out. And look, so when that scene first happened, I didn't know he was gonna die. Not right away. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to myself. But the longer that scene went on, the more and more I suspected. I was like, are they gonna fight? Are they gonna? Is Homelander gonna kill him? And then it was about 20 or so seconds, like before it happened, where I was 100% sure. Oh, Black Noir's dead. He's 100% dead right here. And as soon as Homelander starts asking him the question about if he knew, I was like, it's over. It's over.
I was like, dude, lie to him. Just lie to him. And he set it up. He goes, I know what your face looks like. I know when you're happy, sad. I know when you're telling the truth or when you're lying. And I was just like, dude, I would totally test that theory.
Yeah, I would at least test it once. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what? He's gonna kill you anyway. But
even then, I didn't expect him to actually just kill him immediately.
Oh, it was an instant hit, right? Done.
Yeah. It was pretty brutal.
So the issue, and what would have been the best death, easily, and not best in terms of that I would have, like, I want this person to die, but I think would have been just the best thing for the story and for this character, because now there's questions, and that's Maeve. All right, so Maeve, just small recap. Soldier Boy, who his power is basically he just melts you if you're close enough to him,
and he burns up the V, I guess, in your body.
But if you're close enough to him, he just burns up the V and also melts your entire person, like you're gone. He's about to waste Starlight, Kimiko, and MM.
He's about to waste everybody.
Yeah, basically,
because Homelander's in the same room.
Yeah.
It's Ryan's there, Butcher's there, everybody's there.
Yeah, theoretically, Soldier Boy probably wastes everybody, right?
And I think they're on like floor 100.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's gonna be dead probably. So Maeve, who we did have the pre-stream, we made a list of potential people that we thought were on the chopping block. Now we had Maeve on our list, but we kind of had like a asterisk. We thought she had plot armor. Well, it actually turns out we were right, but for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely. We did not foresee her escaping.
Yeah.
And then that's what she did.
So that's when you and I were like, oh, okay, well.
Maeve's on the table.
Oh, wait, nope. We should have went with our first instinct. She has plot armor. Mm-hmm. So, but no, so Maeve grabs Soldier Boy, jumps out the window. He explodes. And he, took her powers away. Now,
she continues to fall another 40 floors.
Yes. Now, when Kimiko, I'm just going off of the show. I'm not trying to nitpick here. I'm just pointing something out. When Kimiko was blasted by Soldier Boy earlier this season, she was injured. And she immediately lost her powers because she couldn't heal. Okay? So, I'm taking that as when Maeve was in the air, she lost her powers. How does she fall 40 floors and basically she's able to walk to the car, not fully under her own power because MM has to help her, but she is walking to the van.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that.
So do I.
Let's forget the fact that I think she should have died because it would have been a more impactful moment. I'm upset because this is really the first time where the show has not obeyed its own rules. Right. And Jason and I historically have it. Like me personally, and Jason, you're this way as well. I'm able to accept if the show gives me its rule set. Regardless of how crazy those rules are, if a show gives me the rules for its universe and it obeys those rules, I'm usually fine. Yeah. It's when the show gives me the rules and then breaks its own rules with no realistic explanation other than the show has to happen. Yeah. Because you could have done it any number of ways, right? Like if you wanted her to survive, here's a simple solution. It's not elegant, but it works. Why not have her get blasted back into the building?
Yeah, or, the impact, when they hit the ground is when he explodes.
Something. Anything.
Well, I'll tell you what happened, Dave. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you probably what happened.
All right.
They were smart, just like us. And they said, right as they hit the ground, he explodes. That's how she survives the fall. And some moron came in and said, yeah, but what would be really cool is if they blew up in the air, and then you could have this massive explosion in every direction. It just looked really cool. And somebody else was like, I know, but how does she survive the fall? And they were like, shut the fuck up. It'll look cool. And that's what happened.
So the only way I could even theoretically explain that away, and this is me doing mental gymnastics, right? And so it's not realistic, is if we say that, okay, you lose most of your powers immediately when Soldier Boy hits you, but your durability is progressively takes 10 to 15 seconds to fully fade away, right?
All right.
So
Toughness.
your toughness is not an instant on off. It's a draining like health bar, right?
There you go.
And so so she was blasted by the explosion. The blast sent her downward, okay? Because she was already falling down. The blast made her fall down faster. And so she hit the ground, even though there's such a thing as
100 miles an hour.
even though there's such a thing as zero, whatever, there's like a limit to how fast she can fall downward.
Terminal velocity.
Yeah, there's a terminal velocity. Whatever. Like forget science. She hit the ground, and just as she hit the ground, that's when her durability fully wore off. And
yeah, why not?
But that's
like it still sounds dumb when we say it either way.
It's dumb because it's dumb, and that's the problem is if they wanted to do that, they could have done it different. They could have done it a different way, or they could have done exactly what they did and just had the character get a hero's death. Because, and I'll tell you this is going to be an even worse issue when this show is all said and done if Maeve never becomes a major character in the show again. Like if they just basically allowed her to have a happy ending for the sake of a happy ending, it's going to make this even worse in hindsight. I'm going to let it go for now because this is like the first time the show's ever really like made me question a decision. But if we're 2 or 3 seasons, and the show ends or whatever, and Maeve's just like, yeah, Maeve went on, lived in the country. Like, that's just not going to sit right with me.
Well, while we're speaking of characters, Dave, favorite characters of the episode?
I mean, it's Homelander. It has to be Homelander. And Josh isn't here. I'm going to say he's a Homelander vote as well.
Man, look, it's Homelander, but I'm gonna give Butcher a little bit of love as well because he kind of ran the gambit. Last week he was my favorite and least favorite because of
his decision
not telling the truth to Huey. But then this week
he made up for it.
He atoned for it.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
and his fight with Soldier Boy was pretty damn good.
Yeah, my runner up or my 1B for this episode is Kimiko, and I'm gonna just shout out Kimiko and Frenchie as I'm gonna say that their storyline, their story arc,
fantastic,
was like to me easily the best like quote unquote side story of the season, and I don't even think it's close. Like,
I will say, MM's story is pretty good.
I agree. It was good. Like all the side stories are good, but like if I had to say if there was a winner of the best side story of the season, for me it's the Kimiko Frenchie storyline. I just love their arc.
Without a doubt. Like you're rooting for them. You're rooting for them to have the happily ever after.
Like, dude, I want them to live happily ever after more than I do Butcher, because I think they deserve it more.
Absolutely. Look. It's when you're talking about a show that like this, there's not a lot of room for, say, love stories.
Yeah.
But this is a very good one that's being told.
All right, next.
Well, I mean, we had favorite characters, so least favorite character of the episode.
Like, it's so hard to choose. I don't even know, honestly. I'm gonna say
it's pretty easy, Dave. He's already won this category a couple of times.
Okay, go ahead.
The Deep.
I don't even know what the Deep did this episode.
He was basically a bitch in that in the little meeting they have after Homelander kills Black Noir, and he's just like, y'all are
Oh,
pathetic.
yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, I try to do everything you say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is, and he's also the guy who killed the
VP, the potential VP or whatever.
Yeah, to take the place of Newman.
Yeah, and the best scene that he's in is where his I guess ex-wife is having
Yeah, and she wrote that book In Too Deep.
In Too Deep.
That was
and
so
he's
good.
over there just stuffing his face.
Yeah. So, very good. That's a good pick. See, yeah, here's the thing. I didn't even remember the Deep storyline in this episode. Like, so it's really hard.
Yeah, he has been like the comedy relief. Like most of his storyline basically is just him getting punked pretty much all season.
I guess you know what? My least favorite character. I'm gonna pull a U, and I'm gonna just go some random obscure
deep cut. Huh?
I'm gonna go deep cut, and I'm gonna say
stepdad.
Yeah, the stepdad.
Yeah, he was my second choice.
Yes, I don't. Steve.
I think so.
Okay,
it's not important.
I'm gonna say Steve. I'm not 100% sure if that's his name, but I'm gonna go Steve there. Because he was the guy who cheered first. When
he's definitely drinking the Homelander Kool-Aid.
Oh, dude! I mean, look. At least he didn't bring MM's daughter, like he said,
Correct.
like because MM did punch him in the face.
Him out.
Yeah. So, but he's like,
right there. Standing right there when that guy gets laser beam, he's like,
yes,
yeah.
And everybody, and then Homelander's like, okay, yeah. Goes, that's how we do things in America.
I got more of this.
Oh, dude, it's like that's so cringe. But yeah, that's my least favorite.
Yeah, like that guy lucked out because MM's ex is way hotter than he is.
What's the next category?
Let's wrap this up, Dave. Issues and questions.
I already spoke my issues, so I don't have any other than what I discussed.
Like I said, the good thing about this show is there's not a lot of issues.
No.
The issues that you and me had centered around Maeve character, I think we both felt like more than one person was going to die in this episode.
Yeah, maybe that's because we're currently watching Game of Thrones, like rewatching Game of Thrones, I should say, and so like our brains are like, oh, dude, all these main characters got to die. Like it's time. we need a red wedding. I mean, no spoilers,
and like you and me had talked about it earlier in the week, and it's not just Maeve, but in this one area, the main fight takes place. You have almost everybody that's important. The issue is that two of them are powerless.
Yeah,
like they're just sacks of meat. And Crunchy gets shot in the leg by one of the guards for Vought, and really nothing happens to MM at all. Like they're both pretty much fine. And it's just like I said, you're in a room with soups fighting each other. Maybe they would survive. I agree. I don't hate it that that they didn't die or anything like that. But I thought more people would die.
Yeah.
And if that's your only criticism, I guess that speaks to how good the show was.
Yeah.
Now, questions going forward.
No questions going forward, but I have predictions if you want to do that here as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I mean, I still hold true that one of the members of the boys other than Starlight will be a soup. Will take Compound V permanent.
I will say this. I was surprised that Huey did not pump the V.
But happy for him.
Yes, he made the right decision. So does that change our percentage thought on him being the one that takes the permanent V?
I mean, I think at this point it has to be Homelander, right? I mean, not Homelander. I'm sorry, Butcher.
Butcher, yeah. At the end of the episode, he's given basically he's got
12 to 18 months.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got to be him, right? Like for sure. But
could they pull a swerve and something happen and MM do it? I just don't feel like his character has shown anything of that would weaken his resolve not to be a soup.
I don't know. I think we'll see. I think pivoting to a different prediction. I think it's safe to say that Newman is going to be the quote unquote big bad for next season. I think she's going to be the focus, and I'm interested to see with her as VP. Right, I have to believe the plan is once they get office. You would think the plan would be to get rid of the president, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
or at least use him as long as they can, and then pop his head or whatever.
Well, okay. So here's a few things going into next season. With Stan Edgar out of the way, his plan was that he wanted temporary V to be given to the soldiers in our military.
Yeah,
he wanted to get out of the superhero business. That is not Homelander's, it's not Homelander's agenda.
So are we going to get an army of soups?
Well, either that or something has to, loosen up on what the military can do with soups.
I assume that is the plan, right? It is like to get her as president or as vice president. Like, I think there's got to be some big global plan to basically superpower the United States, to make it become a literal superpower, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you make Newman the center point of next season, then you can kind of take kind of pump the brakes a little bit on Homelander, because at this pace, there's just no way he can stay a good guy before he cracks.
Correct.
You might be able to extend his storyline a whole another season of him just being borderline schizophrenic.
Does Newman come out as a soup next season? Or does she get ousted as a soup?
She might get ousted, but I think the part of the allure of her character is the fact that nobody knows.
Once she is ousted, does the country support her? Because they don't know the truth about her, like as far as her being a murderer.
Well, the problem with her superpower is it's not a glamorous one.
Correct.
She doesn't fly. She doesn't have a suit. She doesn't have a super suit that we know of. She doesn't have a backstory. She doesn't have movies, endorsements.
Well, what if
when they ask you, like, what is your cool superpower? Oh, I explode body parts.
Well, so she has telekinetic powers, but maybe she can move stuff with her mind. Like maybe she can lift
Professor X or something.
Yeah, or not Professor X, but more like
Gray or whatever.
Yes, correct.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know, because we haven't really been told anything other than what she can do to kill somebody.
I think we will definitely find out more about her next season for sure.
Okay, Dave. I think another burning question is this the end of Love Sausage?
Bro, I don't know. I mean, I would say yes, he's powerless.
I mean, the dude was carrying around his burnt dick over his shoulder.
I mean, if that was yours, you would carry it too. You'd have no choice.
He's going to cry himself to sleep.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
anything else?
I mean, no. Look, man. I'm gonna be honest. I cannot figure this show out. Everything I predicted has been wrong. So I'm just gonna enjoy the ride, I think.
I will say the one prediction that I feel like has been proven to be wrong that I made, that I was disappointed, was I just kept having this feeling that Starlight was going to be way more powerful than she is. I felt like, because there's quite a few instances where she goes up against another, either a superhero or supervillain, if you want to call him that, and they have told her flat to her face, we already know how this is going to end. I kept feeling like we were going to get super Starlight, if you will. And we got that in this episode when Huey turns up the juice and she just goes super sane. And all she did was knock Soldier Boy on the ground.
Gotcha.
I was a little disappointed. I don't think I'm going to get that one. My wolf prediction of over OP Starlight, I think, is going to be up in flames.
All right. Well,
But I don't know if we got anything else.
I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, I think we successfully wrapped up another podcast, and this one was a finale. So we've wrapped up season 3 of The Boys.
I think so, man. I think we did a decent job. I think Josh would be proud.
Maybe. And if not, who cares?
Yeah.
He wasn't here. We had to carry this thing on our back.
He's not proud.
Hey, buddy, real quick, while we have you, do you have any parting words for season 3? All right. Well, hey guys, we will see you next time. Oh, wait, he's back.
This is great content.
This continues to be the best show on TV.
I love
Okay.
it. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, we successfully completed another podcast. We will catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.
Later.